Welcome back to New Day Cleveland, and guess what? Chances are you started your day with a fresh cup of coffee, right? Well, we're about to introduce you to a new blend thanks to a great place called Red Cedar Coffee.
Red Cedar Coffee is a specialty coffee roaster. We're located in Berea, Ohio, and we've been roasting specialty coffees for 10 years. We're importing from about 24 different countries, so throughout the Central and South America, East Coast of Africa, Indonesia, and the Pacific, and they are all specialty Arabica grades. So we're basically sourcing the top 10% of coffees that are available globally. I'm really excited to be debuting our new direct trade coffee from Costa Rica. The name of this coffee is called Lia Finca Dragon, and it's from the Tarasu region in Costa Rica, which is within eyeshot of the Pacific Ocean. The farm where our coffee is coming from is run by a family, and Luis has been involved in growing coffee since 1998. And the micro mill where the coffee is processed is also owned by the family. It's called Lia, and Luis has worked really hard to maintain the quality and improve the quality of coffee. And he has been the recipient of the Presidential Award in Costa Rica for having outstanding quality of coffee. They're able to maintain quality from the coffee seedlings all the way to the processing of the coffee before it's ready to ship to the States. We import the green coffee, which means it is unroasted coffee, to our roastery in Berea.
Checking for the color development, seeing if the bean is starting to increase in size, change color, darken up. The sugars will start to caramelize as we go.
We roast our coffee on site and deliver weekly to our wholesale accounts. In addition to that, we also have a small tasting room on site for customers that are interested in coffee for home use.
Every bean from every tree is different. So in any given a bag of beans, the beans are going to act different from one to another. So we have to go and analyze as it's roasting how that bean is reacting to the heat and the temperature. So what I'm doing is watching, and that's what the tester is for, is testing to see how the bean is developing. When you've done this for years, you kind of hear, you can hear the machine and kind of give you an idea of what's going on by the crack. When it doesn't crack, when it should be for that particular bean. So it's all basically time and temperature and making certain that you're pulling out the best attributes out of each bean. So what we've done now is the beans have dropped into the cooling bin. What we want to do is we want to cool the beans off in about 4 to 4.5 minutes. And then we'll be able to then set it off aside to let it cool.
Well, our micro lot is 15 bags, meaning that there was a little bit over 2,000 pounds of this coffee that was available from the harvest back in our springtime. And so the only place to get this particular coffee is from Red Cedar Coffee. We purchased the entire lot.
And guess who's here? Ann Denton is here from Red Cedar Coffee Company. It was a lot of fun there watching Papa Denton, right?
Right, that's right.
So that place must smell fantastic.
It smells wonderful.
Yeah. So when you went down there, what country were you in?
I was in Costa Rica.
Costa Rica. When you went down there, I asked you if you had fun, and you said, no, I was working. So what kind of work did you do?
I started off the day going to the coffee farms, and actually for one morning they put me to work out in the fields. So I was picking coffee cherries during the harvest.
Did you see Juan Valdez?
I did not. He was a couple countries south of us.
Okay, so heck with him then, right?
Right.
Hey, so we've got the different coffees here. Are these two different blends here?
No, they're the exact same coffee, and they come from the same farm and the same micro lots in Costa Rica. So
can you make these decaf if you wanted to?
You can't.
But
there's not enough coffee in the world to be able to decaffeinate the coffee.
Really? Okay, excellent. Okay, we got the same coffee here, but I got 3 different things in front of me. So what's going on in front of me?
Okay, so the way that you brew coffee, you can bring out various attributes depending on the brew method. So I've selected 3 popular methods for brewing coffee today. One is the V60 Dripper, very similar to a Melita.
Okay, let me see. Let's put this
Yeah.
out here so we can see it. So this thing goes on top of this?
On top of that,
It goes on top of this, and do you put a filter in it?
There's a paper filter, the coffee, and then the hot water you manually pour
So
over top.
you take something like this then,
Right.
this little pot, and then how much coffee do you use per cup? Oh, this makes what, 2 cups or 1 cup?
You can actually brew easily up to 16 ounces. You could do 24 if you wanted, but the way that I brewed up these 3 coffees, it's all using the same amount of coffee and the same amount of water. So you'll notice the particular nuances.
Is a tablespoon of coffee per cup too much?
You want to be using anywhere from 1 to 2 tablespoons per cup.
1 to 2 tablespoons. And how hot should the water be? Should it be like really boiling water or just after it boiled?
About 30 seconds after
30
it comes
seconds.
to the boil. Right.
So you aren't messing around. You're going like,
No.
okay, 29, 30, and then you go for it.
Exactly.
Okay, so it drips through here. What's the difference making it this way to what we see in this carafe?
Okay, with the dripper system, you're brewing basically a cup of coffee at a time. Now with the Chemex uses a filter that is much thicker than your traditional.
So this is a big, it's a more thicker filter.
Thicker, yes, exactly. And as a result, you brew a smoother cup of coffee, a smoother finish. And now in both methods, you will pick up sort of the citrusy berry characteristics. It's a brighter cup of coffee.
This is a brighter one than this. I like this one. This one I tasted right here. That's more robust, right?
Right.
Okay, so this is the one. So they
give
just
the
pour it right
Chemex
out
a
of the
try.
top of this.
That's correct.
How long does it take to make coffee? Both of these methods.
These, it takes about 3 minutes.
So the boiling of water is the hard part.
That's right.
It's always the hardest part, no matter what you're doing.
Exactly.
Boiling water. So this is going to taste different than the last one. Way smoother.
Yes.
But still, it's got a rich flavor.
We have a lot of customers that tell us that later on in the day, coffee sometimes gives them a little bit of trouble. And so by using the Chemex, it's much easier on the system as well. Also,
This one looks like it'll kick your butt, though.
yes, that is almost like an amplified cup of coffee. is
So what do
I
you do
like
with
to
this?
say.
So you just put the coffee and the water all together.
Right, for 4 minutes, the coffee is ground coarse, which is very important for this method because they're sitting together for 4
Are
minutes.
the grinds for this both the same?
This one here is fine, this one's a middle setting.
So when you grind your own coffee at home, how can you tell the difference between fine and middle and coarse?
If you're grinding it on your own, if you're holding down the button, you have to sort of play with it. The burr grinders are the best. They also typically have settings, so you can figure out what spot on the dial works best for you.
Okay. So this one you make it coarser, so it's more like sand, huh?
It's
Gravelly?
coarser than that.
Coarser than
Yeah.
that? So then you push
Push
this
down.
down, and that pushes the coffee through the water?
The coffee is pushed down to the bottom of the French press.
Okay.
And so this is
And then you let it sit how long?
4 minutes after you've poured the water.
This is ready to go?
Exactly, it's all set to brew.
Okay, I'll hold the top just so we don't fling it across the studio. So this is the one this will rock your world, this one.
It's very flavorful.
Smells bigger.
I like the French press because you can pick up a little bit more of the nuances than what you can pick up on these 2 brew methods.
Oh, yeah.
And that's because the water and the grounds are kept in contact for a longer period of
If
time.
you love the way coffee smells when you walk in the Red Cedar Coffee Company, the French press gives you a flavor like what you smell,
Right.
doesn't it?
Yes, yes.
It's great. And speaking of, okay, you're on West Bagley Road
West
in Berea?
Bagley Road, correct.
Okay, so when can people go there to shop or to taste?
We roast the first half of the week, and so customers can come in to purchase 1-pound bags for home use. We keep it whole bean on the shelves and grind as customers need it. And then the first Saturday of the month, we host educational events, coffee tastings. So we will explore various brew methods like what we have today, featuring one coffee. We'll
Excellent.
have regional coffees. So what makes
Oh.
a Sumatran different than a Costa
You
Rican?
can figure out what you really like.
Exactly.
If I want to get 1 pound of coffee ground 2 different ways, would you put it in 2 bags for me?
We don't have that set up, no.
Nope. Okay, so if you grind it one way, 1 pound.
Right,
What's a pound of coffee cost?
Anywhere from $14 to $18 for the pound.
Red Cedar Coffee Company, you got it all. Thank you.
Thank you, David.
Say hello to Papa Denton.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you for the coffee.